أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. So, well guys, today our class is about writing and how to write a paragraph, how to write an essay and different types of essay, how to write a research paper because it's very much important, and how to write a proposal, and what's the difference between research paper and thesis. We'll discuss them later at the last lectures. So today's lecture is about paragraphs and different types of paragraph because these are the units of writing essay or a text. So look at the screen. We have two types of writing. First one we have personal writing, and second one we have academic writing. Academic writing means impersonal writing. Remember one thing, that these two types of writing are very common. Either you will write with your personal style or you will write with academic style. Now, a personal writing is most of the time subjective. You are expressing your feelings, your opinions about an event or place or object. This is called personal writing. Now, according to the grammarians like Diana Haka or other grammarian, we have a lot of great grammarians. According to them, you are allowed to use idioms, idiomatic expressions, phrasal verbs, or informal words whenever you are writing with personal style. So it means that if you are writing with personal writing style, you are allowed to use slangs, you are allowed to use informal words, you are allowed to use informal expressions. But in academic writing, you are not allowed. That's very much important. Why we get little marks in examinations? Because whenever we are writing not with the academic style, we are writing with personal style. We are using a lot of idioms there. We are using a lot of slangs there. We are using a lot of informal expressions there. And that creates a problem for the checker to check it. So whenever you are writing an essay, you have to write that with academic style. So academic writing is a type of writing which is clear, concise, focused, structured, supported by evidence. This type of writing is called academic writing. You can check on the screen. Now, characteristics of academic writing. The first one characteristics, look it onto the screen please. It is impersonal writing. Academic writing is impersonal. Most of the time it should not be subjective. There should be subjectivity a little bit, but not most of the time. It should be formal in tone, in style. Its main purpose is to convey the message, to convey your theme. It must be planned. It must be focused on the screen. These are the qualities. Structured, coherent, written in logical order, and brings together related points and materials. It should be coherent, written in logical order, and brings together related points and materials. You can see on the screen. Now, at the last I will tell you how to write very well, some points to remember, okay, but I will tell that later on. Now, a matter unit is called atom. A matter has a unit which is called atom, or all matter are made of small units called atoms. Our human being is made of structural and functional unit called cells. In the same way, we have some units whenever you are writing. It's called writing components. Check on the screen, please. The first one are words. You should take care of your words whenever you are writing. then whenever words combine, they make phrases. So you have to take care of phrases also. You should know the difference between a noun phrase, a prepositional phrase, and adjective phrase. We have the third one is called clauses. When phrases combine, they make clauses. Now you should understand, you should know about clauses, that what kind of clauses should I use whenever I'm writing. Whenever the clauses combine, they make sentences. And when sentences combine, they make paragraphs. And when paragraphs combine, they make essays or texts, which is in your books, or which you are writing in the paper, or which is your research paper or thesis or anything. So the fundamental units of writing components is words, which is called parts of speech. We will discuss them in next lectures, words and parts of speech, etc. And then we have phrases, clauses, sentences, then we have paragraph, and after paragraph we have essay or text. Remember one thing, that words are the smallest units. After that, there are phrases. After that, there are clauses, and after that, there are sentences, then paragraph, and the essay. So on the top level, we have essay or text. Then the second level, we have paragraphs, and then the third level, we have sentences, and fourth level, we have clauses. On the screen you can see, and we have phrases, and then we have words. So we'll discuss them in detail one by one, but today our topic is paragraphs. What is a paragraph? We can say that a group of sentences, remember, paragraph is a group, you can see on the screen, paragraph is a group of sentences that discusses a single idea. A group of sentences that discusses a single idea, this is called paragraph. It means when sentences combine, they have some kind of order, they have some kind of logical sequence, and it discusses one idea or one purpose or one theme, then we call it a paragraph. So characteristics of good paragraph: it must have unity, it must have order. Unity means whenever the sentences which are combining in the paragraph must have unity. They must link with each other. It must have order. Specific order should be there. Specific sequence of the sentences should be there. It must have coherence. Coherence means it should be precise. It should be understandable. The people should understand it very easily, or the people should comprehend it very easily. It must have a purpose and a theme. Whenever you are writing, remember, it must have a purpose. It must have a theme. If your writing lacks theme, it means a human body lacks a soul. If a writing lacks theme, it means you have wasted your time. Your writing must have a purpose. Your writing must have a central message. Your writing must have a central idea. In the last one, you can see on the screen, the last one, it must have a proper size. It should not be 17 pages. It should not be 1,000 words. Because you are not a philosopher. A great writer or a scholar is allowed to write a paragraph which contains, more than 1,000 words. But you are not, because you are a newcomer. You are just a fresh writer. For a fresh writer, you should take care of the size of the paragraph. You should take care of it. because otherwise you will lose the logic there. So it's very much important. We have already done the characteristics of a good paragraph. So they are, for example, characteristics of a good paragraph is it must have unity, order, coherence, theme, message, proper size. You can see on the screen. So all those things are very much important. Whenever you are writing with a paragraph, or whenever you are writing, so when paragraph are the units of essay. So first you should understand paragraph. Now these are the characteristics of a good paragraph. Your writing must have unity. Whenever you are writing, your paragraph must have order. Your paragraph must have coherence. Your paragraph must have a theme and a message. And your paragraph should be a proper size. Now, here we already discussed that paragraph must have unity, it should have a proper size, etc. Now, what does unity mean here? In order for a paragraph to maintain a sense of unity, you can see on the board, the paragraph must focus solely on a single idea, point, or argument that is being discussed. Unity means that your paragraph should discuss only one idea. The paragraph should, move around one idea. The paragraph should, all the sentences should revolve around one topic. So it's called unity. Okay. Now, second quality of a good paragraph, or second characteristics of a good paragraph, is order. Now, there must be order. Now, what does that order mean? Order of events. Suppose you are writing a paragraphs on events. You are writing an essay on events. So there must be a proper order of events. What if suppose one event occurs at the start, the second one event occurs after it, and then the third. So there should be a proper logical order whenever you are writing in paragraphs. So there must be a chronological order. Chronological order means suppose if one event happens in 2004 and the other event already happened in 2006, so the 2004 event which happened in 2004, that must be written first. Then the second event should be written which happened in 2006. So this is very much important. Chronological order. And there should be also logical order, that a person, the reader, whenever he reads, he can make the connections between the ideas or the information which you are giving in those paragraphs. So this is called logical order. Now, second is coherence. I already told you that coherence means it should be precise. It should be, so clean and clear that the reader should understand. It's called the flow of your writing. It's on the screen, the flow of your writing. Your main idea about which you are writing, it should flow, okay? It should flow. So this is called coherence. Coherence means the precision of it, okay? I already gave you a lot of detail on the screen. You can see it. Now, size. I already told you that size matter. If you are a fresh writer, remember one thing, for a fresh writer, you need to take care of the size of paragraph. If the size of paragraph is small, very small, then it will also create problem for you. If the size of the paragraph is very large, that it contains 2 or 3 pages, you will lose that idea, the main idea. So therefore, you are a fresh writer. According to Diana Hacker on the screen, you can see that in average paragraph, it means you are writing an essay. There are 500 paragraphs, or there are 10 paragraphs, there are 5 paragraphs, or there are 50 paragraphs. So the average paragraph words should be between 100 to 200 words. This is a writer's suggestion. It's not, a standard rule. You should not go ahead from it. No. It's not this is just a suggestion from different writers like Diana Hacker or other writers like Slavis. All those writers says it's a suggestion for a fresh writer. If you are writing in paragraphs, your paragraph should not, paragraph should not go ahead or more than 200 words. Then you will lose your way. You will lose the connectivity of that idea which you are discussing. You will go to another way. You will bring another one idea there. So your words should be between 100 and 200. So this is very much important. And Hacker also tells us, Diana Hacker, which is, she has done a specialization in writing. She also says that an introductory and concluding paragraphs are often shorter than other paragraphs. Remember one thing, there are paragraphs in essay which are called introductory paragraphs. We will discuss them in essay lectures whenever we start, lectures on the essays. So we will discuss them in detail there. In introductory paragraphs, in concluding paragraphs, it means the last paragraphs in which the writer gives central message, or the writer gives his own theme, or the writer gives his own main idea or main lesson. So those paragraphs are most of the time shorter. The introductory paragraphs and the concluding paragraphs are most of the time they are shorter. But scholars, those they are philosophers and scholars, great writers. Sometimes they write more than 1,000 words, 500 words, 700 words. They often they write it with a very serious and depth philosophy. Therefore, they have much experience, and they don't even lose. They have that experience that they don't lose their main idea. Okay, so therefore they are writing with 1,000 of words, with 800 words. But for a fresh writer, it's a suggestion to write your paragraph from 100 to 200 words. A paragraph has 3 parts. Now the components of paragraph. A paragraph has 3 parts. One is called the topic sentence, which is on the screen, you can see it. Supporting sentences, and the last one is called conclusion sentences. So we have topic sentence, supporting sentence, and conclusion sentence. So what is topic sentence? You can see on the screen a sentence that states the theme of the paragraph. We can say that from this topic sentence, we can understand that the paragraph is about what thing? Is it about a place? Is it about an object? Is it about an event? So this topic sentence states the title. It's also called the title sentence. On the screen you can see it. Most of the time, the topic sentence comes at the beginning of the paragraph. But the scholars or the philosophers or the great writers, sometimes they bring the topic sentence between the paragraph or at the last of the paragraph even, to create suspense. But for a fresh writer, it's a great point or a great suggestion to write the topic sentence at the beginning of the paragraph. So a topic sentence states the name, states the title of the paragraph. It tells us that that paragraph which the writer is writing or which you are writing is about what thing. So that's called the topic sentence. Topic sentence is also called the title sentence because we can understand the title of the paragraph, that this paragraph talks about what kind of idea or what kind of thing, what kind of event, what kind of place. So this was the topic paragraph, the topic sentence. Now, supporting sentences. From the name you can understand supporting. Supporting means that these are those sentences which help, which support the topic sentence. So these sentences support the main idea. It means the topic sentence. We give her illustration. We explain her. We elucidate her. We give exemplification here. We analyze. We compare. We give arguments. We give information. and supporting sentences, but those all arguments, that elucidation or that explanation or that exemplification, all should support that main idea. So supporting sentences mean that they support the topic sentence. They support that main idea which is in the topic sentence. So this is very much important. Therefore, they are called supporting sentences. In supporting, we have, elucidation, explanation, or even analysis. A lot of things can be there. Even, drawings and graphs and chronology should be there. Reference could be there in supporting sentences. So the third part is conclusion sentences or conclusion sentences. This sentence often comes at the end of the paragraph. It is the conclusion, or it's the summary of the paragraph. It is the final message that the writer conveys lies in the concluding sentence. Concluding sentence is the squeezing point, the squeeze point, or the filter point, or it's the final and the last message of the writer. So the last message or the final message is given in conclusion sentence. So whenever you are writing a paragraph, so the first is a topic sentence. Then the second one, we have supporting sentences that support the topic sentence or that support the main idea. And the last one, we must have a conclusion sentence. It's the summary, it's the final message, it's the final idea of the writer. So, types of paragraph. There are many types of paragraph. According to one writer, Slavis says, according to Slavis, he says that there are 12 types of paragraph. But most grammarians, they discuss 4 types of paragraph. So we will also discuss only 4 types of paragraph. If we get the time, if we have the time, in the last lectures we will also discuss other types of paragraph. So paragraphs are mostly 4 types, or there are 4 main types of paragraphs. The first one is a narrative paragraph. On the screen you can see it. The second one is called a descriptive paragraph. The third one is called informative paragraph. And the last one is called persuasive paragraph. So we'll discuss them in detail. What is a narrative paragraph? What is a descriptive paragraph? What is informative paragraph? What is persuasive paragraph? Their characteristics, we'll discuss them in detail. And I will also give you some example of it that you should understand that. So the first one is a narrative paragraph. What is a narrative paragraph? Narrative comes from narration. Narration means a story. A type of paragraph in which the speaker tells a story. So whenever you are writing a story, it comes in narrative paragraph. So you should write it in the form of narrative paragraph. You tell a story or relate an event. Narrative paragraph must have beginning, middle, and end. This is very much important point. This is very much important point. Remember, note. Don't write. Later on you can write, okay? So, you tell a story or relate an event. Narratives have beginning, middle, and end. So, a narrative paragraph tells us a story. It tells us a story. It gives us background information. In the opening sentences, this is the second point. It has beginning, middle, and end. It also entertains and informs. You can see on the screen. Now, this is very much important. Look at the screen, please. In narrative paragraph, the writer sends his message. The writer conveys his message in the form of story to the reader. The writer sends or conveys his or her message in the form of story to the readers. It means he give us, the writer the writer gives us a lesson in the form of story. So this type of paragraph is called narrative paragraph. So narrative, whenever you are writing a story, you are writing a past event. So you should write this in the form of narrative paragraph. Narrative paragraph must have beginning, middle, and end. In the end, there should be a concluding sentence which convey your central message. Now, narrative paragraph characteristics. Because in narrative paragraph, we tell a story. So there must be chronological order, which we already discussed. Chronological order should be there. Proper arrangement of the dates should be there. If one event happened in 2010, and the second event happens in 2011, or it has already happened in 2011. So the first event should be that 2010 event, because that is the first event. So this is called the chronological order. And then the second event should be written of that 2011 event. So if an event happened in 2010, and second event happened in 2011, and third event happened in 2013, so the event of 2010 should be written, then 2011, then 2013 should be written. So this is called chronological order. There should be a chronological order. There should be coherence. Coherence means, it should be eligible. It should be precise. It should be comprehensive. That people should understand that the readers should understand that. And precision means that you should use words which are comprehensive, which the readers can understand that. The fourth quality, or the fourth characteristics of narrative paragraph, the events should have logical order. The events must have logical order. If the events have logical order, so the person who is reading it, or the readers, can get the central message which you are giving in that narrative paragraph. It must have beginning, middle, and end. And the last one is the purpose. It means the central theme. When we say once there was a thirsty crow, once there was a dog, once upon a time there was an old man. So these paragraphs are most of the time, these stories are in the form of narrative paragraphs. These stories are in the form of narrative paragraphs. So the stories which you are writing, or the story which you are writing, it must have a purpose. At the end, you should convey such kind of message to the reader. So this is an example. It's here the narrative paragraph example. The barefoot boy. This is an example. You can see the first one is a topic sentence, which is, I had a scary experience when I was a young boy. So this is a topic sentence. It's about an experience which is scary. And the supporting sentences are, one evening while my parents were eating dinner, I was playing barefoot in the yard with my toys. Even now I still remember the perfume of the flowers and the moisture of the grass. While I was sitting on the grass and playing with a toy truck, I looked up at the sky, and my attention was distracted, you can see on the boat, by the beauty of the stars. Then I felt something cold and smooth slide over my feet. I stayed perfectly still, but I looked down at my feet. Then I saw snakes slowly slithering over my toes. I felt terrible and afraid, so my heart beat very fast. After the snake moved away, I screamed to my parents for help, and they captured the snake and took it away. The experience frightened me, and I never went outside barefoot again. So, in the concluding sentence, you can look to the screen, please. Look at the screen. Now, in the concluding sentence, the boy tells us his own story, which is in the form of narrative paragraph. It tells us the last message is that I will never go again out of my home with barefoot again, because he had a very strong experience. He saw a snake which was slithering over his own foot. So when the snake went away, so he screamed, he cried for the parents to come over. So look at here, I had a scary experience. This is the topic sentence. When I was a young boy, and one evening I was playing, even now I still remember, all those sentences are called the supporting sentences. I have already divided those supporting sentences, you can see it. The supporting sentence. Then we have concluding sentence. Concluding sentence, the author gives us a message that you should never go, with barefoot. Because I will also never go, because I had a very scary experience. Now, second, when we have descriptive paragraph, a type of paragraph in which the writer develops an image of an event or place or person. The writer develops a picture with the help of words. The reader smell, touch, feel, see the picture whenever they read the paragraph. Descriptive paragraph means that the writer uses words to develop the picture of an event or a place or a person. It's called a descriptive paragraph. If your teacher tells you that write a descriptive paragraph, so descriptive paragraph means develop the image of that place, develop the image of that event, develop the image of that object, that person. So here we are giving, we are developing or we are creating image in the form of words. Now, characteristics of a descriptive paragraph. There should be logical order, because in every paragraph, if it is narrative paragraph or if it is a descriptive paragraph, it must have a logical order. This is very much important. Now, onto the screen you see, please. Logical order should be there. And second one means use of visual words should be there. It means these visual words help the writer to create the image of that event or that object or that place. So use of visual words is the characteristic of a descriptive paragraph. And use of descriptive words. Descriptive means words for smell, words for taste, words for feeling, and words for colors. It means that the writer must use words through which our five senses can provoke. We can feel, we can develop that image. The reader can understand, or the reader can develop an image very easily by reading that descriptive paragraph. So a writer